In northern Canada, in a region known as Nunavut, lies one of the very few inland freshwater-based Inuit communities in the world, situated along the shore of Baker Lake. It is also home to two of the most iconic Arctic species, the migrating caribou and the prehistoric-looking muskox. The lives of both people and wildlife here are deeply intertwined. Hunting has become a controversial practice in modern times. My name is Dan Cabela, and I am traveling the globe to explore the true impact hunting is having on our remaining wild landscapes. This practice goes back as far as human history can remember. But does it have a place in modern conservation? Musk oxen have been here since the last ice age, first appearing in the fossil records more than 2 million years ago. They walked the planet at the same time as the woolly mammoth and saber-toothed cats. But unlike those long extinct species, they have persisted to the present day. The musk oxen's ability to adapt to the extreme cold and survive on tough Arctic vegetation allowed them to survive where other species didn't. The fur trade in the 19th and 20th centuries decimated global populations, but conservation efforts in the last 100 years have helped to restore musk oxen to their native rangeland. I am traveling to Baker Lake in Nunavut to learn more about this almost mythical-looking species and the people who share the landscape with them. Where muskox populations are stable and increasing, regulated hunting helps to provide resources for further research into the species. After meeting with my guide, Sam Karliksak, I am introduced to veterinarian Susan Coots, who has been studying muskoxen for decades. There is no better way to start my journey here than to hear the science and history behind this curious species.
These are kits that we send out with hunters, both subsistence hunters, so if you're going out and hunting for food for your family, or with guided sport hunts for getting samples from the animals. The purpose of it is to be gathering information on the caribou and muskox health overall, like condition, stress, diseases, on an ongoing basis, using animals that are being harvested anyway. On the one side is sort of your cheat sheet of the type of samples that we ask you to collect. And once you've collected all of that, it goes into this bag. The other thing we have with the kits is this, which has a nice little pencil and the data sheet. And this is just a checklist of the blood sample, the skin, the droppings, the left hind leg, the jaw, the kidney, and anything abnormal. And then comments. So if you say, you know, the animal was really, the best condition I've seen, was really skinny for this year, or you might say I saw abnormal things. Did you guys, like when you were growing up, were there many musk oxen around here?
Yeah, it was normal here. Like growing up, we used to see musk ox a lot.
You see them more now or the same?
Yeah, more.
Yeah, more.
And when this time they're closer to the community.
So would it be safe to say that without the subsistence hunting and the sport hunting and the issuance of licenses based on surveys, without hunting, it'd be kind of hard to know some of the science, right?
Without this program with 100-based samples in the Kitikmeot region, we're just starting this up in Baker Lake. In the Kitikmeot region with musk oxen, we would know nothing about the emergence of brucellosis. We wouldn't know that that was affecting the animals. We would know the population declined because there's been population surveys, but we wouldn't know that brucellosis is playing a role there. We wouldn't know that erysipelathrix, that's the bacteria that's killing them. We wouldn't know about that disease. We learned about that from hunters, from interviewing them, and then subsequently testing. So we would know that musk oxen declined, but we would have no idea of the mechanism.
With sampling obtained from sports hunting and indigenous use, it feels good to know that alongside local economic benefits, we will be able to contribute to a better understanding of how this species is faring in a rapidly changing environment. The most efficient way to get around and locate the muskox is by boat. While the weather is often rapidly changing and unpredictable in this part of the world, we are lucky on this trip, and our first day in pursuit of muskox holds fair. After a few hours, Sam locates a male along the shore. Luck is on our side, and the terrain allows an easy approach within shooting distance. It is hard to fathom that this creature has walked the earth since before the last ice age. It is a true icon of the Arctic. I take a moment to pay my respects, to admire the form and resilience of this incredible animal. Like all hunters who make the journey here, my fees have contributed to the science and research of the species. But now, the sampling must begin. There is work to be done. Today, community quotas and sports hunting quotas are still in place, allowing for a very limited number of animals to be harvested each year, ensuring not to negatively impact their population.
Muskoxen have a super interesting history. They're Ice Age survivors, but they bottlenecked at the end of the last Ice Age. Then they did okay. And then in the 1800s and earlier, they probably were extirpated from Alaska totally. There was absolutely no hunting, including indigenous hunting, allowed between 1917 and 1967, at which point in time the populations had started to rebound and limited tags were provided for the Inuit. And that's why in northern Canada, caribou, historically, there were no quotas for the indigenous people. They've always depended on them, they've always eaten them, and they're important for their food security and for feeding their families. Muskoxen, because they were extirpated from so many places and down to such small numbers, the quotas were put on, which is very different for northern Canada for indigenous people to have quotas because they are rights holders to the animals. That was a major conservation effort more than 100 years ago, right? So I just want to take a look at this guy. And just from the outside, we do an external examination. All this outside, all these long hairs, we call them guard hairs. And then if you go down inside and you see it's kind of gray in here, you can just pluck some of this. Then we will measure stress levels in this. And we will also measure trace minerals and elements, and gives us a good idea of nutrition and also how the animals are doing stress-wise. It's the warmest natural fiber in the world. It's worth a fortune. This is interesting to me. I don't know what he's done here. And this wound there, it looks old. It looks a little bit like a growth. He should be way fatter.
Yep. This is a skinny one. Can tell right away.
Oh, he's really skinny. So we can use the blood to test for various diseases. Brucellosis is one that we test for. It's a really important disease that people can get. But you want to make sure they're all completely soaked.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. We test for other diseases that may affect muskox survival, reproduction, things that can cause abortions in them or prevent pregnancy. We want to cut it so you get all the fat that's around it. but right down to the spine all the way. And then across.
I don't have any gloves on.
That's okay. We'll do this very neatly, so you don't need gloves. It's only poo. So what we use this for, we look for parasites, lots of parasites from the stomach and intestines, shed eggs that we can detect in the poo. We will use it to look at stress. So there's stress hormones that are in the poo, and then we will use it to look at diet. The poo is actually often used to look at genetics.
As we start to process the carcass, there is a problem. Susan has identified signs of disease. It is important to understand any illness the animal has, so Susan takes more tissue samples.
The liver's it's stuck to the tissue overlying it, and there's scars on it, and there's these tags that were where it was stuck onto the overlying tissue.
You see all those yellow stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got an infection going on there. This whole thing here is attached to the right front lobe, right of this guy, but it's hard, it's lumpy. It's very firm. Sam, have you ever seen anything like this?
That's my very first time seeing that.
Yeah, and not in Caribou either, hey?
No.
With increasing doubt and concern about the potential disease, and in the interest of human safety, Sam calls the local wildlife authorities to inform them about what we have discovered. And we are instructed to leave the carcass where it is, and any information on diseases gained from the samples will be shared with the community. Putting the disappointment of not being able to bring protein back to the community behind me, I am kindly invited to share a previously hunted muskox meal at Sam's home. He has a surprise for me, something I have never tried before: narwhal. I'm gonna try some narwhal here that Sam caught. Not often you get muskox, but it's even more rare that get narwhal. So let's see what this is. This is a first. Both of these are a first, actually. Pretty good.
Are you saying it's good, but just to say it's good?
It's the best. Caribou are migratory animals, and their routes and population size are very difficult to track. Massive herds are often seen migrating through the tundra, and hunting is an integral part of the cultural heritage in this area. A limited number of hunting tags are issued both to sports hunters and to the local community hunters each year. Only mature bulls that are past their breeding prime are harvested. I am given the chance before I leave to hunt an old mature caribou bull. Searching along the shoreline, much like we did for muskox, we look for the herds of caribou, which migrate the tundra. We've been out here for, I don't know, probably a couple hours or so, just kind of going up this river and seeing quite a bit of wildlife. There's actually quite a few caribou working the sill behind us. Saw a bear. That was pretty cool. See some eagles. So a lot of activity this morning. The weather's cooperating, so, you know, hopefully we just keep seeing stuff and eventually bump into a mature bull.
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you're seeing way more than I saw.
11, 12, 13 caribou right now.
We've seen one that looks to be pretty mature, so we're just kind of trying to get to shore to go take a closer look at him.
Oh, I'm sweating. Just the walking up part.
I have to admit, I mean, you obviously know what you're doing, but I was really wondering why we got so close to come up the hill, but it all worked. So you did it right. But I was wondering.
Got a nice big bodied, old mature bull. You can tell right from even without the binoculars.
It felt so wrong to leave all the meat behind the previous day, even though it was out of our hands. The opportunity to harvest this caribou and take it back to the community is a nice closure moment on an amazing journey. My time in this incredible place is coming to an end, but Sam has one more surprise in store for me before I go. The Festival of the Lake is an annual gathering where the community comes together to eat and sing and dance. The centerpiece of the festival is the caribou, which has been harvested by local hunters and will be feeding more than 2,000 people today. I feel privileged to be invited to this event, and I'm really looking forward to connecting with some of the local elders.
Every year there's a festival of the lake. That's a Baker Lake celebration. So these are elders. Elders have their own eating room here. And then the public has an eating room adjacent to it. Like 2,000 people almost, but everybody's spread out. So this is a chance for us to finally see each other. Yeah, and catch up on whatever everybody has been doing.
And what are we eating here?
We're eating caribou. This is take a picture. See, she's gonna show how to eat it. That's the marrow. How to eat marrow of a caribou. That's not a marrow. No, it's not. Oh, it's a bone.
Inside the spine?
Inside the spine. Spinal cord,
Oh, okay.
I guess, of the caribou.
You could say that the caribou is very, very important to the community as far as the food source.
Yes, the caribou or tuktu is our mainstay food. Caribou and fish, because we are a freshwater lake here, as you probably know. You're hunters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know about hunting. That's what these people are. They're hunters.
Yeah.
It's something that keeps us alive.
Well, it's great that you guys can all do it together.
Yes, they share everything.
Much of the world has lost its connection with food, but it is heartening to see that this still exists in some corners of the world. I have learned as much on my journey here about muskox and caribou as I have about the people. They are intertwined in their existence in this vast, sweeping landscape. I only hope that with science and careful management, these incredible people can continue to live as they have done for thousands of years, as part of nature.